So once you're going with your account already, I mean, obviously there's some questions to answer. So what we need to know is basic information. When did you move abroad? Right? To customize your profile, kind of what's your situation? Do you have US income? Do you normally file US state returns? Do you have a corporate interest? Things like that. And then we need to know more about your filing history. What's your birthday? Did you file a US tax return last year? What benefit did you use? If you know which benefit you use, whether it's a foreign income exclusion or the foreign tax credit, right? Those are all things that we have to take account into, right? To make sure that your tax return for the current year is optimized and is aligned with your previous tax filing history. And then from there, obviously, stuff about where do you work? Where do you work? Are you a resident there? Are you paying taxes there? Where do you live? Do you have a different mailing address you want to use for the IRS, right? Again, it can be very straightforward, tax filing process, or if you want to customize things, if you want to add a different mailing address, if you lived in different addresses, maybe there's more questions to answer, but it really depends on your situation. Are you single? Are you married? Are you widowed? Are you legally separated? And then depending on what you select, there'll be different sections that pop up, right? Have you been claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return? Do you have dependents to claim yourself, right? So are you claiming any children or maybe a parent you have to take care of? And if so, we just ask a couple qualifying questions to see if we can really claim your dependent or not. Obviously, there's different elections you can make. You can, then say I paid childcare expenses. So there's a lot of different options you can make, and depending on the option you choose, the relevant section will pop up. We'll then really look, okay, well, what filing, status can we use for you? If there's different filing statuses that you might be eligible for, and then from there you'll confirm which filing status you want. So that's the basic information, right? Of, who's filing, where do you live, what's your family situation. Now we get to the juicy parts. What's your income? If you had answered that you don't have any US tax documents, you probably won't even see this section. This is for those that have US tax documents, because I think if you're an expat and you don't have any US income, this this will be a little confusing for you. So if that's you, you can just go ahead and skip over. If you do have US tax forms, you can already see from the screen, we have a lot of different options. W-2s, 1099 divs, 1099Rs, 1098Ts for tuition statements, K-1s, right? If you have qualified education programs, if you have withholdings from, you know, being an expat and maybe you sold a US property, or you got a 1042S instead of 1099R. There's so many different options, and that's, again, depending on your situation. We're built to support you, right? If you don't have any of this, then you skip it, and if you have all of these forms, then you have a section to fill that all in. So once we get through US tax forms, we do ask about US retirement accounts in case you are looking to contribute to your individual retirement account, if you have required minimum distributions. If all of this is going past you, like this doesn't apply to me, just skip the section, right? Just go next and say you don't have anything. If it is relevant to you, then you have the option to enter in, hey, I made a non-deductible traditional IRA contribution because I want to roll that into a backdoor Roth IRA conversion. Or maybe you're self-employed and you have a solo 401k. So again, depending on your situation, maybe you just say no to everything and you don't even see this whole screen, or maybe you do need this section so that you can make sure that we are accurate and really covering your entire tax profile. So that's why I'm really proud of MyExpatTaxes, because again, I don't want anyone to feel like an edge case. You're not an edge case. You're a US taxpayer, and we're here to help you with your US tax return. Now, obviously, I think this section is probably the most relevant for all of us expats out here is what's your other income, right? Did you have a foreign salary? Were you self-employed? Did you have rental income, right? Some of these are for foreign. So we'll say whether it's for foreign employment compensation because you don't have a W-2, or if you have worldwide, so US or foreign self-employment, US or foreign rental income, that's where we get that information. If you have foreign pensions, you have worldwide gifts, maybe you gave a gift, maybe you got a gift that you have to report. So again, we're really here to try to cover as many situations as possible. And you only choose the one that's relevant for you. And then you'll only see those sections pop up. So in this case, let's make it easy. We just have a salary. we have our salary, we enter in where did you work, what kind of entity is it? Is it a US or a foreign entity? How much money did you make? You can just enter that in year or whatever currency, is applicable to your salary. There's no need to convert it at this point. We ask a couple clarifying, questions about if you have a pension, because it's something we have to cover from a tax compliancy point of view. And then obviously, if you paid taxes on the income, if you had withheld taxes, you can enter that right away with that income source. And then we even have help tips about what is considered foreign tax credit for that country, because it's different, right? If you're in Austria, there are different terms for income taxes. And then depending if there's a totalization treaty, maybe or maybe you can't claim social security taxes. So we'll actually change the help tip based on the country you use, which I think is very helpful. With that being said, if you had a lot of different income sources, you would see them here. You can then say, well, how much did I really pay across all my income sources in income tax? Because maybe you don't know the actual amount of tax per entry. For example, if you have a lot of interest entries, maybe you don't know how much tax you paid per interest amount, but you know the total amount of income taxes you paid, which you can go ahead and add there at the bottom. You can also say if your taxes were paid or they were accrued for the purposes of the Form 1116. And then from here, I think most people will just say, I want to convert all of my current, all of my income using the IRS recommended yearly average rate. Obviously, if you don't want to do that, there's options for you to use your own exchange rate. So that is, your income. Now there's a couple other questions obviously we should cover. So did you have US travel? Because again, it's important to know that so we know sourcing. So we don't ask you questions just to ask you questions. We ask you questions to make sure you have a very accurate and compliant tax return. And then also vet out, do you need other types of filings? Do you need state filing? Do you need corporation filings, PFIF filings, etc.? As I mentioned, there's a deduction section. So this really depends on you. It's something we tell people that, hey, they're great, but most expats, because you don't owe taxes, you probably don't need the deductions. So if you are pressed for time, I would just recommend to actually say, no, you don't have housing expenses. No, you want to use the standard deduction. And then you can see at the end, if you owe taxes, you can always come back to this deduction section and try to add more deductions in. But if you owe zero taxes, it might not make sense to go and, look through all your receipts because the end effect is the same. With that being said, we do have a section for carryovers. So especially if you're not filing with a tax professional and this is your a new year with us and you haven't filed with us before, it is important that you add any carryovers. So we have carryovers for capital losses, foreign tax credits, you name it. Now we get to the FBAR section, and that's where you can say, hey, do you even need to file an FBAR? If you have to file an FBAR, do you want to file the FBAR with us? And then you would go ahead and enter in, your details. And we have a lot of information here about, okay, what type of accounts do you need to include? If there's no account number, what do you use instead? Enter the max balance in your original currency. Don't convert to USD, please. And then you can go ahead and enter that information. Obviously, the first time you do this, it's going to be a lot of entry, but just know as a returning client, every single year we carry all of that information over, and all you have to do is just update the max balance. That's it. So it gets really easy as you use us for more and more years. I think the fastest tax return we had was someone that was a returning client and started, paid, reviewed, and filed in less than 4 minutes. So it can be a very straightforward process. Obviously, just some other clarifying questions for the purposes of Form 2555 in case we need it about your expat situation. If you want to add a US bank account to your return, if you made estimated payments or extension payments, and then from there, right, if there's estimated tax penalty, if you want us to include that for you, if you want to customize your occupation, we already create an occupation depending on your income profile, but some people like to have it a lot more detailed, so you can override that. You add your social security numbers for anyone that is relevant, on your return. And then from there, if you do seem to have a state, filing requirement, will pop up the state section and you can confirm, okay, I want to file a state return, what kind of state return I want to file, non-resident, part year, full year, etc. And that's really it, right? That's a lot, but obviously it's also a tax return. And from there, if you want to stay in the base plan, there's no need to upload documents. If you want to upgrade to our reviewed or premium plan, you can upload any documents as you wish, depending on the plan you're in. And then you would go ahead and just confirm your entries, right? So if you are, again, someone that is not working with tax professional, you would just say, hey, everything looks good. It's what I entered. This is what I'm estimated to owe in taxes, which is, in this situation looks pretty good. Nothing owed, and you get a refund from the additional child tax credit. And you can go ahead and proceed to check out. Once you have decided which plan you're in, once you've checked out and you paid, you would pretty much get your tax return draft immediately, unless you're in the premium plan, because of course, the tax professional has to work on it at that point. And then you can say, hey, everything looks good. And then you would just go ahead and consent to e-file. You can e-file with us using the 879 method or the self-select PIN method. So whichever one makes sense in your case. And that's it. That's how to file your US tax return with MyExpatTaxes. And really a goal of making it straightforward, user-friendly, without sacrificing accuracy and compliance. We don't take shortcuts because the most important thing is to make sure that your tax return is accurate.